Hi guys, today we're gonna study the composition of blood. So people often get confused between the blood means when people say blood, the first thing which comes into mind is the red blood. So that is not correct. Blood means it is a composition of various things, not only that RBC red blood cells. There are lots of things which inside the blood. So we're gonna study all of them. So this is the picture which is I have taken from the book Atlas of Human Anatomy by Netta. So you can see in this picture. Let me first. Okay. Yeah. So you can see here the tube. Okay. On the top, it's mentioning centrifuged blood sample. So what is centrifuged blood sample means? Consider I am taking my blood. Okay. Let's consider myself. I am taking my blood, I'm draining my blood and I'm putting that inside the tube. So what I'm doing, that tube I'm putting into the machine where that machine will rotate that tube, okay, in circular motion. So what's gonna happen there in the tube is the as I said, the blood is a composition of the various things. There is a lots of component. So due to that circular motion, due to that rotation, the blood components get segregate. The various components will separate from each other, and it will form the layer inside the tube. As you can see in the picture, at the bottom there is a red blood cell which is approximately 45% of the total blood. At the bottom is the RBC. The next layer is the, you can see they are mentioning puffy coat. In the book they are saying puffy coat. So what it consists, consists, first one is the platelet and then the white blood cell. We're gonna come into these two things, but first understand the layers. Okay, at the bottom we have the red blood cell which is RBC, which is approximately 45% of the total blood. Then the puffy coat which is less than the 1% of total blood, and on the top we have the plasma, okay, which is 55%, which I can say it acquire the larger portion of the blood, which is 55%. It is not 55% accurate, exact. It is approximate. It can be 54, 55, 56. Okay, roughly you can consider it. So this is the centrifuged blood sample in which we get after the after the rotation, we get three layers. On the bottom RBC, in the middle buffy coat, and on the top plasma, which is 55%. Let's study one by one. So what is plasma? So plasma is a composition of water, transports organic and inorganic molecules, cells, platelets, heats. Okay, so this is the plasma. So you can see the plasma is made up of the water, which is 92%. So you can say the plasma is nothing but water. With that, there is some kind of molecules also. It can be transport organic or inorganic molecule. There can be platelets. So what is plasma protein? Plasma protein, it is a protein which present inside the plasma. There are various function of these proteins, like it can help in the transports, it can help in the storage of substances. So there are various function of these proteins, and there are other solids which is 1%. So plasma is a 55% of the total blood, and plasma is further classified, or no, not classified, it is further made up of other materials: plasma, organic, inorganic molecules, platelets, and plasma proteins, you can say. So what is the plasma protein? There are numerous amounts of plasma protein. Albumin, which is 60%. Okay, so you can say the albumin present inside the plasma in the larger portion, which is albumin. The transport lipids, steroid hormones, major contributors to osmotic concentration of the plasma. So the main proteins, plasma protein, which you have to remember is the albumin, which is 60%. Next one is the globulin, which is 35%. Next one is fibrinogen, which is 4%, and there are other protein also, which is the regulatory protein, which is less than the 1%. It can be enzyme, hormone, clotting protein, numbers of things. So the first one, albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, and the regulatory proteins. So this is all the plasma protein which is inside the plasma. What is the other solutes? Other solute, it can be electrolytes, organic nutrients, or organic waste. Okay, as you all know, the blood carry, there are various function of the blood, like it carry oxygen, okay, it carry CO2, it carry other nutrients also, it carry waste material also. So the other solute which present inside the plasma, the in that solutes there can be the organic waste carried to site to the breakdown or excretion. As I said, the one of the function of the blood is to carry the waste, to excrete them out, and other function is like to do storage and the transports. So these are the main things which we all should know. Albumin, which is 60%, globulin 35%, fibrinogen 4%, and regulatory protein less than 1%. So this is the plasma proteins. The next layer is the Buffy code, which is less than the 1%. It carry platelets and the white blood cell. This is the, I can say, the least portion of the whole blood, but the main part, okay, like in immune system, they help, like the platelets, white blood cell. You all know the platelets when we get cut or any type of injury. This is the platelet which helps to regulate the blood volume inside our body. It block the bleeding of the blood. So this is the main function of the platelet. Okay, as you can see at the bottom, it's mentioned blood clot formation and tissue repair. It's help in the tissue repair. It is less than 1%, but we should not neglect it, because in that there is a platelet and the white blood cell. White blood cells means it helps, it is the composition of our immune system. White blood cell, there are various types of white blood cell. It can be neutrophil, monocytes, eosinophils, lymphocytes, and the basophils. So this is the perfect coat which contain platelets and the white blood cell. I'm repeating again, this is the least portion of the blood, but it should not be neglected, because it contain the main main composition of our blood, that is platelets and the white blood cells, which is very very significant for the immune system. Okay, we need it. The next one, we all know the red blood cell, which is 45%. The main function of the red blood cells is to carry the oxygen, to carry the main function of the red blood cell is to carry oxygen to the to other body tissues, okay, to make them to help them to form energy. So that's one of the main function of the red blood cells. So this is the blood composition which we all should know. Let's repeat it again. Blood is made up of three parts, which is red blood cells, Buffy coat, and the plasma. Plasma is the 55%, which is highest, and the red blood cell, it is the 45%, and the Buffy coat less than 1%. Plasma is made up of water, plasma protein, and other solutes. Water is the 92%, and the plasma protein, which is albumin, globulin, fibrinogen, and the regulatory protein. The next one is the platelets. We know the function, which is blood clot formation and the tissue repair. And in the same Buffy coat, we have white blood cell, which is neutrophils, monocytes, eosinophils, lymphocytes, and the basophils. Then the last one is the red blood cell, which is 45%, and the main function of the red blood cell is to carry oxygen to the tissue to help them to make to make them energy and to regulate our body function. So that is the blood composition. So I think that's it from my side. Thank you. Take care.